if I was starting off as a freelancer, these are the 3 things I would do to get my first client. First thing I do is loosely identify who my ideal client would be. And this is so crucial because you don't want to burn yourself out trying to look under every single rock. The easiest way to identify who your ideal clients could be is to actually figure out what type of designs that you like, and then figuring out what type of industries could use those types of designs. I'm going to use myself, a web designer, as an example. So as a web designer, I would jump on Pinterest, collect all the designs that I like into one board, and then from the board I can clearly see that I like the clean cut luxury type of designs. And then from that I can deduce what type of industries could use these sorts of designs. Photographers, beauticians, fashion, these are the industries you want to target. The next thing I do is package myself up in a way that's appealing to these clients. When prospects go through your portfolio, they want to be sure that you can match their expectations, which means that you can have the most beautiful portfolio on the planet, but they're going to look past all of it just to find one that gives them the certainty that they need. If they don't, they either won't engage with you, or they're going to ask you if you've got a piece that matches the style or functionality that they're looking for. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity, which is why you need to work out what services your target client needs, and then build a portfolio revolving around these services. Here's some examples. For photographers and beauticians, they might need a portfolio website. I can create a package for them, which consists of 5 pages of high fidelity design, website development on WordPress, 2 changes for each deliverable, and 2 weeks of support after build. For fashion brands, e-commerce website, 15 pages of high fidelity design, full development of all those 15 pages, uploading 50 of their products, 2 changes per deliverable, and 2 weeks of support after build. Now that you're absolutely clear who you're selling to and what, you can create a portfolio that matches your ideal client's expectations. The good news is you don't have to have real-world clients to create a portfolio. So if you have 0 clients, I would find a website that needs improvement in the category of each package that I'm offering, and then design it better. For example, for my e-commerce package, I would search up fashion brands on Instagram and then find out what user experience problems that they're having, and then design it better. When you have at least 2 projects on your portfolio, put them up online. Don't spend ages and ages on a custom design website. Instead, just use a website template on Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, whatever you prefer. You can even put it up on Canva, Figma, Pinterest. The key here is to get it up and running as fast as possible. As a bonus, you can even start thinking about how you're going to price your packages. The easiest way is to find out how other established freelancers are packaging and pricing themselves, so that way you're not underselling yourself. For example, if I search up luxury website designers on Instagram, I can already see a whole list that I can learn from. Finally, you're ready to get your work out there. The most obvious way would be to reach out to clients through email. But let's be real here. Out of 100 emails, you're probably going to get 1 reply. So how do we improve those odds? Create more volume by automating the process. There are now these amazing tools out there that has literally millions of contacts available that you can filter through by industry and role. And then within these tools, you can compile these contacts into a list and then schedule to automatically send these contacts personalized emails. Life-changing, right? There are a lot of tools out there, but I would recommend Apollo.io to have a free tier, so you can start sending up these emails without a single cent. And now your hands are free and you can focus on building trust online. This is a long-term approach, but it is so worth your focus and effort, because when you reach out to a stranger online or they find you, the first thing they're going to do is check out whether you're a trustworthy expert. And the best way to build that trust is through providing value. Here are some ways you can build trust online. Make helpful tutorials. For example, I have a lot of e-commerce clients, so I made a video about how you can create a 3D replica of your products in under 2 minutes. The second way is to share your experience. Be genuine. Show that you're a human being with relatable emotions. I created a video about my journey as a freelancer some years ago, and then I shared it on several Facebook groups. I managed to land 4 different get clients out of that. And one of them was even a high-ticket client. Another way is to create helpful templates and assets. Find a problem, create a solution, and then share it on platforms like Gumroad where people can easily access it for free. For example, a problem is not everybody knows how to code. So I would write useful code snippets that people can easily copy and paste into the web platform of their choice. You can even offer advice. For example, just like how my favorite social media manager on LinkedIn shares these insightful tips that I find myself saving a lot of the time. When deciding where to share your value, you don't need to be on every single platform. Instead, ask yourself, if you were your ideal client, where would you hang out online? For example, if I was a photographer, I would hang out on Instagram, but not necessarily LinkedIn. Create values specifically designed for that platform. Keep it up, and eventually you'll find yourself surrounded by a community who trusts you. By building trust online, you're also making yourself discoverable, which means that instead of you having to find clients, the clients will come to you. I would also recommend building trust by being physically present. In the crowded online space, it's hard to tell who's genuine, and that's why networking is still so effective. When people see you face to face, you become a real person instead of just another name on the screen that they can ignore. Here are 4 places you can find people to network with. Try Bumble Business. The people on Bumble Business are ready to chat and even meet in person. LinkedIn is another place. Treat LinkedIn like a giant networking event, but in the form of a social media platform. You can look for networking events on Eventbrite or Meetup, but make sure that you go to the relevant events. For example, if I was looking for photographers, I would look up photography exhibitions. And lastly, this is not a platform, but ask your friends and family. Don't be shy to talk about what you do in front of them, because you never know. They might know someone who needs your services. But the most important thing is, every time you meet a new person, make sure you add them on social media and then constantly give them value. So then that way, when they're looking for a freelancer, they'll think of you. At the end of the day, freelancing is really, really hard work. There are no shortcuts. At the beginning, you might find yourself chasing client after client just to keep up with the bills every month, which is why I've created another video about how you can get clients consistently. You can either watch that, or you can find out how I started my freelance journey 4 years ago. In any case, I'll see you in the next one.